For millions of years, they dominated the land. Then, a two-legged predator invaded their world and changed it forever. Now these giants live only in our imagination. The majestic, mysterious mammoths. Black hills of South Dakota pulse with life. Jackrabbits and coyotes, antelope and bison. But during the last ice age, 26,000 years ago, these hills rang out with the trumpeting of mighty creatures, no longer of this earth, the mammoths. In their day, no other animal could match their size or majesty. Even the fiercest of predators stayed clear of these giants as they grazed the rolling grasslands. 11,000 years ago, the mammoths suddenly vanished, but not before a fluke of South Dakota geography preserved a vivid time capsule of their lives and deaths. In 1974, at a site called Hot Springs, a contractor began leveling the ground for a housing project. His equipment hit something unusual: animal bones and a 7-foot-long tusk. Paleontologist Larry Eigenbrod, an expert on the prehistory of North America, was invited to the site. Impressed by the number of exposed bones, Eigenbrod urged that construction be halted. He has been involved with Hot Springs ever since.
When I initially came to the site, we saw between 4 and 6 mammoths. That was exciting in itself. But now, 21 years later, we found our 51st mammoth last week. That is exciting, and the story's not over yet because it's at least 30 feet of mammoth-bearing material beneath where I'm standing.
This is the world's largest collection of Columbian mammoths, a species related to the woolly mammoths, but unique to North America.
The Columbian mammoth, 14 feet high at the shoulder, more than twice my height, weighing up to 9 tons. That's like a big truck with a load on it. And no shaggy coat of hair. It was probably no more hairy than the average Asian or African elephant today. It was a warm zone animal. It had big tusks, about the same size, but they were more robust because it used these tusks to dig holes and maybe take branches off trees and so on.
All the Columbian mammoths found at Hot Springs also share another unique characteristic. All were victims of an ancient death trap. Around 26,000 years ago, an underground cavern collapsed and filled with water from a natural spring. This sinkhole might have looked like an ordinary pond, but it was 70 feet deep, with treacherously steep and slippery walls. In time, lush grasses would obscure these dangers and lure mammoths to their deaths. Some may have plunged into the pool, others perhaps slipped at water's edge. In either case, it was a one-way trip. Unable to scale the slippery walls, the huge beasts drowned or starved to death. Eventually, the Hot Springs sinkhole dried up as its walls broke down and sediment slowly filled the pit. Layers of deposits up to 3 feet deep separate the skeletons not just in space, but in time. allowing Eigenbrod to calculate a rough chronology of the site.
So we're looking at maybe as many as 100 mammoths that died over a period of up to 700, 750 years. Maybe one a decade, or maybe two if somebody tries to pull their friend out and falls in too.
The story of Hot Springs seemed rather straightforward until the bones revealed one last fact. Nearly every one of the sinkhole victims was a young male in his prime. Fossils alone can't explain this bias. But 6,000 miles and a continent away, a living giant may help scientists solve this mystery. Mammoths no longer walk the earth, but some of their relatives do. The striking resemblance between elephants and mammoths stems from close family ties. For paleontologist Gary Haynes at the University of Nevada, elephant bones provide key anatomical benchmarks. The size and maturity of teeth are a function of age. Gender can be determined by the shape of the pelvic bones. Haynes applies these indicators to mammoth fossils. In this way, he can gather vital statistics about an animal that died thousands of years ago. But these details alone can't bring the ancient bones back to life.
We have nothing to study of mammoths except bones and teeth, but we can actually go a long way towards understanding their behavior by looking at